السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalam ala Sayyidina Muhammad Nabil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Welcome everybody back for the Fatwa Live. The first question: when it is required on the husband to desert his wife? The answer: the relationship should be on the on friendship and harmony. Allah Azza wa Jal said after second Allah from his side that he have created from within yourselves wives or spouses that you will live together and made love and mercy and harmony, and that there is science for those who contemplate, those who think. So desert the person is an exception. You do it with the wife who is rebellious, to correct her, not to humiliate her, not to injure her, not to have revenge on her. It is to correct her attitude. Because Allah said, for those that you are afraid of their rebelliousness, then be desert them in the bed and hit them. Of course, that is lightly, not to really hit them, and so they might come back to their senses. So they will think about what they have done, what they are doing, and they will come back. Here, Allah Azza wa Jal wants the relationship to be built on harmony, to build on love, and it is a choice of correcting the path between them, as it is indicated in the ayah in the Quran. And only when the husband is afraid that his wife is about to cheat on him, and so on and so forth. And the advice it is very important to advise, to give a good advice, to communicate. And we want to stress for those who are married, for those who are newly married, people like them, you should be more tolerant with them than others who were born in Muslims, because you need to be taught to be patient, with their attitude till they are deep in Islam, and you don't want to revert them back to against Islam. You want them to stay on Islam. And divorce is not something that you want to see or hear. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect us from the fitna, from the calamity. Second question: what is the evidence that the zakah is on the rent, not on the original value of it? It is used for merchant, for to benefit, for profit. The answer: the things that are used, whatever is used for rent, like real estate, cars, planes, ships, that are using people or moving people from A to B. These things are used for rent and for the merchant contract, that are for selling and buy for profit. That the contracts that you sell the origins, so you buy the calamity so you could sell it, buy it and sell it. But the rental, no, you are trying to benefit from owning it. And the proof, that's only the income, not on the principle of the real estate, what came and the understanding of the scholars to it, because it's not narrated from the Prophet or any of his companions that they require the zakah is required on the principles, and it was existing. So the general of Muslims and the scholars, that the principles on the thing that you rent are, there's no zakah on it. So no real estate or cars that you use for rental, or the factories, not on its values nor its original value, but it is on the benefit and the income that comes out of it. Some of the new scholars, they are the ones who have said that it is on both the principal and the income, and there is no evidence that it came from the Quran or Sunnah. Ash-Shawkani says about this issue, this is a matter we haven't heard about it in the first generation, nor the ones that first, nor the one the scholars do not hear about with all the differences, and there is no book or no evidence of this ever happened. And also another evidence that is not required, that the Prophet ﷺ, he decided the money that is required to zakat, and he did not say what is rental from the animals or the real estate. And if it is required, he would have clarified it alayhi salatu wasalam, like he clarified all other issues with the zakat. Because the scholars, Muslim scholars, and during all generations and times and places, they did not, it is required on the principles. The Imam Malik was asked about the man that he will have a ship, that he will rent it to go from Andalus, and does he have to evaluate it every year and pay the zakah? He said no, he don't have to evaluate it, no zakah on its value on the principal. The zakah is only on the income that comes out of it. And Muhammad Ruj said if he bought it for merchants, then he would have evaluated, but he did not, because he didn't buy it for to buy and sell. He bought it so he could benefit from the income that comes from it. And the same thing on the minerals, because on the actual increase, so the real estate that is for rent, you get from the money that is increased, which is what you have gained, which is from the rent. A man, another question, someone, he bought land for X money and he sold it. Now, does he have to pay zakat? The answer, when he bought it, did he buy it to sell and buy, or just to hold it and protect his money and to benefit his beneficial some? If it is the first one, then he paid the zakah of the merchant for every year. But in your case, could have a specialty of the person who holds it, and the Maliki is not required to pay zakah except when he sells it. If he sells it, then he paid the zakah in 1 year, even it stays with him so many years. But the second condition, then it is the money. If it is 1 year, then you take the zakah, and there is a zakah from before, and Allah knows the best. The final question, some of the activities, some people they spend a lot of money, like some of the calamities, and they are the ones who are used very sure some selling, and that will the value, extra value that they are doing it so they could reduce the tax. The question, the people who put with the money, they ask that they are getting they buying the receipt to reduce the tax. These are electronic. It's not going to harm nobody. Most companies they do that. The one who does this, they beat their own taxes. But those who bought it, I need to know what do I deliver it or I stop? if I get some money, is that permissible as a commission to reduce the taxes that is that is overdone in the within the law? It is allowed, and to help people on this, it is allowed to get the rights of others that are not disputed about their rights in it, as long as there is no punishment and there is no violation of the law. Because the experts, they follow the loopholes in the law, but not violate them. Don't break the law. Final question. I was asked uh, to make a research about my company, and I have to talk to different people from different religions, including Islam, what they believe, so we could have environment of respect and understanding between the different religions to protect their rights. For example, the Muslims don't allow the connection between the two different bodies. So when they deal with Muslims, they put that in consideration. So there's no embarrassment situation. If there is a sin, if I told different religions to talk about their religions, even though it is something we don't believe in, because I'm not supposed to just do one religion. It has to be different religions, which will bring more audience, more understanding about Islam from these ventures. The answer for Amjad, they have a decision about the interfaith dialogue. I'll bring you what is in your subject. You could search it according to Amjad because there are so many benefits that it's very hard to just summarize it. The interfaith, the to have different religions representative, and is have different meanings. Some it is permissible, some is not. And if you just show Allah's and you worship and you protect from the ignorant, even if it is meant to just show the truth, and people deny it, but you are just at least breaking the stage of falsehood, and also to clarify the truth. And also, it will bring harmony between different religions to live together, where they could live according to the common values that they share. And those who are truth, they will be able through this to deliver their message of Islam, away from uh, toxic environment, where if you are trying to bring human cooperation between each other, especially if it is from one nation or they have different things that bond them, and there's a need for this kind of help, there is nothing wrong with that. And Allah Azza wa Jalla made all earth is shared between all his servants, good and bad, Muslims and disbelievers. And so if it is meant to commit the cultural crime of melt everything together, where and to print the Quran in one book with other religions, with other books. This is a cheating to communities that is exceeds in its danger than the commercial cheating. So originally with the interfaith that it is something that is allowed. And those who are leading that part, that he have the knowledge that he will protect himself from the affliction of the urges and the doubtful things. And he'll be able to debate when he is trying to debate on behalf of the truth. And also, it is important to stress on these dialogues that the message of Islam represent the all the messages from its original area, and it is for all humanity. So debating the people of the book has to be within what is good, except for those who did transgress, because it is important to guide humanity, to clarify to people. Because Muslims are more truthful, no knowledge of the truth, and more knowledgeable of Allah, more merciful on people. And the final question: I want to buy a phone. I don't, and can the person sell it after he buys it? Because if he did, he will be harmed. If you're talking about buying from a distance through the internet or phone, there is a decision for Amja. I will tell you the that the venues that are allowed through the internet. The first one, because the Prophet says, Hakim, don't sell what you don't have. You want the salam. Sell it is something that is described, and you sell it for a certain money at a certain time. And you could describe it extremely good, that it's no doubtful about. Then he sells it to whomever he wants with the condition he adjusts the price, and then he will make it versatile to him. Third way is to buy and sell as representative for commission, and to take the commission it's allowed. And there's no. And the fourth one is by representation, that you will be a representative from the seller to sell that thing in his behalf for those who wants to buy it for non-commission. And the salam, it is the best all of these ways. If it has had all the conditions, and Allah knows the best. With this, we come to the conclusion of the first part. Inshallah, we'll continue in a couple of hours. Please join us. Subhanakallah bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.